Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast with your host, Teeds and Don Julio. Julio's from the comfort of his own home. I am in Sacramento in a hotel room for work, but we are getting it done, getting this week's podcast done, and really looking forward to what we get to talk about tonight. I definitely want to start with the Hero Challenge. I know Tiger Woods obviously was the focal point of everybody that watched it. If you did, I didn't even really tune in too much, but I kept there. I mean, if you're on Twitter or Instagram, you're going to see enough of Tiger Wood trackers that'll tell you exactly how he's doing. What did you think of the tournament? Did you hear anything about it? Anything crazy like
I
Tiger's
watched
performance?
it. I didn't see much of Tiger's performance. I kind of tuned in on Saturday late morning, and then just a bit of Sunday before the before football.
Okay.
But I couldn't believe the one thing I was shocked about. Even my dad and I were talking about was I was shocked of how hot it was. Like everyone was drenching sweat in New Hampshire, like in December.
Yeah, that's extremely random because wait, what? It was really in New Hampshire?
Was it in New Hampshire? I thought it was in New Hampshire, wasn't it?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to check this one out right now because I don't know. Let's see here. Hero. No, that was in the Bahamas, man.
Oh, in the Bahamas. Okay, I'm sorry. Then let's scratch that. My dad was telling me. My dad was telling me it was in New Hampshire, and I was like, "Really? Like that seems weird."
Dad,
Oh, it's in the Bahamas. Okay.
you made a liar out of me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people were talking about Tiger Woods. Just wow, look at how shredded he is, and I'm like, that's how Tiger Woods has been
He,
for a long time.
no, but
He's
now
always
he looks like I
yeah.
saw. I did get a glimpse of him after Thursday with his first shot off the tee. He does look extremely ripped. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe he just had the arms on his shirt tightened up a little bit or what, but he
No, dude,
definitely,
his veins were popping. They're
yeah,
popping as well, like it wasn't just a shirt.
yeah,
Which is obviously impressive. The older you get, the harder it is to, maintain a body like that. You can't really, there's no like room for cheat days or anything like that. And Tiger in his past, he's just known for being ridiculously adamant about staying in shape, working out, grinding, and all that. But one thing I do want to touch on was, did you hear about Colin Morikawa over the weekend?
I heard that there was something going on with like him and Matt Fitzgerald or
Matt Fitzpatrick? Yeah,
Fitzpatrick. Yeah,
so apparently Colin Morikawa's caddy used the device on the practice screen to calculate the slope, which apparently is not legal. But he then added that info to his handwritten notes and in the yardage book, which is a breach of the rules. And Matt Fitzpatrick straight up reported him, snitched him out. And which I'm sure Matt would be like, well, I'd hope if I was in that spot, I wish he'd do the same to me, But
he would. I
I
think he
mean,
would.
no, I agree. But it's just kind of crazy how that is just how golf is. It's the game. It's like it's like the only sport that, what does Brooks Koepka say? Like you take penalties on yourself, or what was it Michael Jordan? Like you like penalize yourself. You're the only one to be like as
Yeah,
honest of a game as possible. And I thought that was really interesting. It was a 2-stroke penalty, man. 2 strokes.
yeah. I read a little bit about that, and I was like, someone tweeted about it saying like snitches get stitches or whatever.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I was just thinking to myself like, come on, it's Matt's. What's his last name? Fitzpatrick. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like Matt's. The dude is just he's by the rules all the time. I mean, it's just it is what it is. Colin should have known better too. It's not like if anything, it just seems like Colin's just trying to pull a quick one. Then at that point, like
Lazy,
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's like, dude, I know you haven't been in contention for a lot of things recently, but it's like, come on,
Not today, Colin.
yeah.
Matt Fitzpatrick's in here to make sure that doesn't happen. But on another note, still about Tiger Woods, but there is a rumor out there that the PNC Championship could be Tiger's last tournament with Nike Golf. Did you hear about this?
I did not hear about that.
That's all I heard. That's it. I mean, I just think how crazy that would be if he actually ends his tenure with Nike with their long. It had to have been what, over 20, 30 years, almost, like their partnership.
Yeah,
And he had turned Nike into the golf like mecca at one point with until they got rid of their golf balls, till they got rid of their golf clubs. Now it's really just apparel, and it's even limited on that. But man, what do you think of Tiger just not wearing Nike? It's just like the weirdest thing ever, in my opinion. Just think about that. If he doesn't wear it.
I think it's about time. I think the only time we really ever see him in Nike is when he's on the golf course. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the stuff's. I mean, sometimes when he walks in, he's wearing like the cut off sleeve with like the Nike and the swoosh in the front. But I don't. I don't see.
Like, what do you think he's going with? Bad Birdie next? Should be rocking some good
I think
apparel.
he's going to do his own thing. I mean, I feel like
Just rock the T-dub.
either he's going to take. I mean, he owns. From my understanding, I looked into this years ago, but from what I remember, I think he owns the TW logo, right? Just like how Jordan owns the Jumpman, right?
I don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know.
So I mean, I could be wrong. People out there, correct me if you know more about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he just does his own thing, right? Does his own thing and um, basically just monetizes off of that, or this is a big or, he signs with a Acushnet, Titleist.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
was
signs
thinking.
with them for clothing, which I don't know. I mean, I'd kind of hate to see that because their stuff is already so freaking expensive, and now you go and put like, oh yeah, Tiger's rocking this, and now it's
No, I'll never be able to afford it.
it's going to be the same FootJoy polo, but instead of it being $100, now it's going to be like $220 because it has TW on it. But you got to think like
It
even,
could.
I mean, even like Charlie, right? I think Charlie plays Tyler
He's been
Simon.
rocking the FootJoys. Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
rocks
Scotty
FootJoy.
Cameron.
Yeah, it's just like,
I
why not?
mean, I could definitely see it going up. Like if you put Jordan on anything, like that just instantly shoots up. But with all the Tiger stuff, I feel like it hasn't gone up anything crazy. Like Nike polos are so easy to find cheap. If you just go to the right place on eBay, not like brand new, but like whether it's brand new on eBay or something like that, compared to like brand new FootJoy, you can find maybe 50, $60 compared to like 80 if you go to the right places. But
Wait, are you
I
talking
don't know. I
about?
mean,
Are you are you talking about like Tiger Woods' Nike stuff?
yeah, like a Tiger Woods hat. I mean, I'm not saying limited
Well,
edition stuff.
like the hat. I mean, I don't think he has anything that's limited edition besides the shoes. Which again, the shoes, they haven't
Yeah.
innovated his shoes in forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they're
I,
freaking amazing shoes, dude. I bought 2 pairs and I made $120 on both pops.
yeah.
So
So I mean, even like the new Masters ones that just came out, like, dude,
nope,
those
they're not out
drop.
yet. I think they come out in a few days.
Okay, well, apparently they're already all sold out on pre-orders. Didn't even know you could do that.
Well, you got to check it out on StockX because if it's pretty high, dude,
Yeah,
I'm
but
definitely gonna
again,
try and
it's on
grab
if
one.
it's on StockX. StockX isn't like a Foot Locker or any other.
No, I'm saying how much they're going for on StockX to see if it'd be worth it to try to get one at like cost price.
I wouldn't pay for any. I mean, I wouldn't pay that because now you're paying that plus whatever the markup that the reseller is. I mean, it's like me buying my Jordan
No,
my
I'm
Jordan.
saying I'm saying I wouldn't pay. I'm not saying I would buy it from StockX. I'm saying how much would StockX charge? How much are they selling on eBay? And then to see
Well,
before they
let's
even
just
come
say,
out if I get it at like
yeah. Let's. I mean,
220.
we already know the price is going to be somewhere probably around 220, 250 for the shoe
Mm-hmm.
on Nike. They're
Yeah,
probably going to go up $600 to $1,000.
that's what I'd be hoping, man. I was so mad when I didn't get I didn't win the drawing for the what are like those olive ones that came out, the olive Nike golf shoes. They look like terrible. They're like a rapper. Who's the rapper that uh
Oh,
literally came out like a
Travis
month?
Scott.
Travis Scott's. I'm like, dude, these things are going for $1,000. You can get them if you won the lottery or whatever. You can get them for like 150. Make $1,000 on it easily. And for shoes that I would never wear, probably the ugliest shoes I've ever seen, colorway wise. Like it doesn't even look good, so it's so easy to sell.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it'll be really interesting. Kind of like imagine seeing like Phil like not in Callaway, you know? Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
should be weird.
Phil's rocking those Travis Scotts and Jordans, and then on top of that, he still has G4s that he sits on too. It's like, G4's basically or is
Maybe hitting Callaway. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe like hitting Callaway. That's the
well,
biggest thing.
it's not even Callaway anymore. It's Travis Matthew now.
The golf balls?
Callaway bought Travis Matthew for clothing.
No, I know that. So the clothing is Travis Matthew. Yeah, no, I get that part. But I was talking about the golf balls, clubs, and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Phil would never leave Callaway. I don't think.
Um, I mean, there's no reason to, honestly.
Yeah, that's it.
They
That's
catered
interesting.
every need, and
I'm really that's interesting. I'm kind of intrigued to find out what he's got wrapped up in the play here. I mean,
right. And I mean, like, you think about it, someone like us, you would still have to grind, right, to make some money to keep the cash coming. But you're not just set for life, Tiger Woods. Like your family's set for life, your grandkids are set for life, your great grandkids are set for life. Like, what more can you do besides win more majors to like cement yourself to be bigger than you are right now? There really isn't anything, in
yeah,
my opinion. I mean, you've done it all except for win more majors than Jack,
hmm
which will be tough at this point. But it shouldn't be, at least in my opinion. He's at the point where it doesn't have to be about money because he's so flush in cash. He has so much fu money. Um, yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens.
yeah. I mean, I know that they're. I remember. I think it was Zaire. I think it was Zaire Golf or either Golf WRX where I saw that Tiger Woods and Nike were just having some creative issues. Like they literally were just like,
mm,
what do you want us to make? And he's like,
what do you want?
yeah, you're supposed to come with me for some new stuff, but Nike hasn't innovated anything on the golf side. I mean,
Yeah. Their
yeah,
shoes have been weak recently, man. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since the Roche G tours, they've just gone downhill. I've not been a fan. The Lunars,
yeah.
the Air Maxes are not bad, but just not a fan overall. Did you
Well,
hear about?
Brooks. I mean, even
Oh,
like
go for it. Go for it.
Brooks Koepka's like yellow shoes that he was wearing, right, with the Reacts. I mean, those were pretty neat colorways.
Yeah,
But it's like for me and you,
colorways. Yeah,
I mean, he's rocking them because he's getting paid to wear them, right? Like
right.
it's
Would he wear them if
yeah,
there was
no.
no money value to it? Yeah.
For you and I, like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go out there rocking freaking piss yellow React golf shoes and just be like, oh, I'm swagged out because I got the hands, or even the one offs that they did with the high top Jordan retros, right? The Jordan ones for Michelle Wee, and how they like mass produced them onto
Yeah.
Reacts, and then they put them onto the other high top Jordans. It was like, I'm not gonna rock those. Like that's literally, you should have just kept it as a one off for Michelle Wee, and then if she wanted to try and monetize it later, then you do it. Don't like,
Right.
come on. I mean, it's Michelle
You're
Wee.
trying
Like,
too hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Michelle Wee. She hasn't really been in the picture, or she really hasn't done anything super wow since she won that women's US Open, thing, and then she ends up getting hurt, and then she's out, then she has a baby, and she's out for even longer, and then she gets married to,
Hmm.
or not married, I mean that all happened already, but then it was like, then came the Solheim Cup drama and all that other stuff. It was like, other than that,
Yeah.
you haven't competed in forever. I mean,
Yeah.
disrespect. Like when you were playing, you left a mark on everybody because I mean,
Hmm.
you were incredible. To see somebody
Yeah.
your size, this the length you had, it was ridiculous. No one had seen that except for Lexi Thompson, really. I mean, she was the only person that was hammering the ball like that. But to see the way she was working it, and then also the putting stroke was just like, what is that? Like, this is crazy. But she never missed. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's like
just
Stephen A. Smith on Twitter. He never misses.
yeah,
Man. But moving on to Live. Did you hear about the Jon Rahm news updates and how he's expected to make the move announced in the coming days? There will not be any immediate changes on the format of the league, and apparently Jon will be getting his own team, which
yep,
I guess was in the works and kind of one of the reasons why things had stalled for a little bit because he wanted a lot more control. with his position at LIV, and apparently, I mean, the number floating out there is about 400 million. I know those ones are never really. Well, I heard 6 and then 4 towards the end. 6 maybe like a few weeks ago, but recently about 400. But regardless, I feel like these numbers are never official, and you never actually hear about it. It's just a rumor that was said for how much for that, unless the player themselves actually come out and say it. But I mean, I feel like it's freaking insane if the PGA Tour loses Jon Rahm, man. And apparently, there's a few other guys that are going to be leaving as well. And I am looking forward. I am all in for seeing who else leaves because it'll be very, very interesting.
I think
Who
again,
else
maybe
leaves?
like, the whole merger, that's all the same thing now. So really, Rory can't sit there and say, "Oh, you bitched out on the PGA." Well, John Monahan or Jay Monahan, like he blew it for everybody too. He pocketed so much money, and
Yep.
there were supposed to be all these changes, but then wait a minute, if I'm still playing a Live Tour event, now all of a sudden my world golf ranking points don't match that anymore. Like what was the whole purpose in that? And it was literally just for Jay Monahan to fill his pockets, and that was it.
Oh yeah.
So if the dude who's supposed to be leading the whole thing just says screw it, I want to get my money, the player should do the same thing. I mean, if anything, like if you want to get that money, I 1000% would tell anybody who's making that move for the next year, 2 years, just go out there and grind. Like, get it done, make a name for yourself, catch the attention of Live, get paid, and just go play for fun again. Like literally, that's all you need to do. Because at this point,
Yeah.
the PGA is just pocketing off of everybody now as a monopoly,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no one's calling on it. I mean, the benefit is that now you have Saudi Arabian money coming into the US that is really just being laundered, for them to say here, like we're a nonprofit,
Yeah.
we already avoid taxes. We have our set clubs that literally we have an extension of money that comes in all the time. We bring in X amount of dollars every single event. We just pocket.
Yeah. I mean, like,
There's
yeah. I
nothing
mean,
going
like,
to the game. There's nothing
yeah.
going to the game.
Yeah. I mean, you make up a good point where it's like you go to LIV, and as long as you do well, where you get like a minimum 50 to 100 million of like a signing bonus or to sign on, you're back to playing golf for fun again. And not
Yeah.
just that, but you're able to legitimately travel the world. Where like the PGA Tour, like, oh, you're going to Illinois. Ooh, it's like, oh, you're going to like Connecticut. Ooh, like Las Vegas. Okay, cool. Yeah, California. Cool. Yeah. Oh, you're going to, like in the middle, like in the Great Plains, in the Midwest, in the hot days, you go to
I
Memphis,
mean, honestly,
Tennessee.
like
Ooh,
what are the best clubs that the PGA plays now?
gotta be
If you were
Pebble
to name
Beach,
five,
obviously.
if you were to name five,
Huh?
if you were to name five of the top best courses that they play, what do you think they are?
Pebble,
Okay.
as in like a yearly basis, definitely, Augusta. Probably the Riv. I know it's a popular tournament. I mean, the Riv looked nice. I would say probably, is it TPC Scottsdale that for the waste management?
I don't even think that that's like great of a course though. Like that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, if you're taking
Yeah,
in
exactly.
if you're taking in the event, the ambience
Hmm.
of the event, yes, top 10
Yeah.
hands down.
Right.
But
Right.
but overall, it's not even that great of a course. It's a public fucking course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
it's one time a year where the place is just crazy popping because it's a college town. They have the awesome ambience of the 16th hole. Other than that, dude,
Hmm.
like what else is so great about it? Nothing. I've
Right.
played
No,
it.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I completely agree. I mean, you bring up a good point. And then on top of that, it's like, or you could play it live where the purses for a player winning, not even just sharing, is like a 5 million minimum. Plus, you're playing in Australia, you're playing in London, you're playing in, is it Chile or somewhere in South America? You're playing
Yeah.
in Mexico. You're playing all over the country, or sorry, all over the world,
Mhm.
which is not the same with the PGA Tour, which I think they play in Mexico, they play in the Bahamas, they play in Canada, obviously the US, and obviously the UK for the Open. But besides that, I think they're pretty limited on anywhere else that they're playing in, right? There's nowhere else, I don't think. Do they play a tournament in Japan, I think. But I think that's just like
Well, and then they
is
have
that
the one, and
consistently
then
every
they have
year?
the one in Abu Dhabi, right over it for the RBC. Other than that, it's like,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
like what else? And here's the
It's
thing,
not
like,
really. It's a tour of the United States. It's not even a tour of the world. But yeah.
yeah, but I mean, still, it's like the game pulls people from all over the world, and if the PGA is a global, nonprofit organization, you should be like literally. What would make it amazing is if they switch up. Like, obviously, for majors, obviously Augusta will never change, but for other
Yeah,
majors, you take amazing courses from around the world. Like, imagine if they did a U.S. Open at Paynes Valley, right?
that'd be freaking dope.
Imagine if they did a Players Championship at Wolf Creek. Do you realize how hard that would be for players to play?
Oh,
Like, we go over there and play these courses, and we have an incredible time, knowing that we're going to shoot 120 potentially, right? Because
right.
these tracks are tough. But imagine someone who actually knows and studies the course and really sits down and takes the time to like analyze every single shot. You walk through every shot, and
Hmm.
they go over there and butcher it. I mean, think about how excited people were during the what was the one that Colin Morikawa won at Harding?
TPC Harding Park. I think that wasn't a U.S. Open.
Was it a U.S. Open?
Wait, no, PGA Championship. I think maybe.
Okay, so PGA
Yeah,
Championship, right?
PGA.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the people of San Francisco and those who have traveled around the world and have played, TPC Harding were like, oh my god, the course is eating these guys up. That rough
Hmm.
that I deal with is
Hmm.
really is it actually is a problem there,
Right. I feel
and
that, man. I feel that.
no,
I was
seriously,
right there.
and
You
that's
know.
that's what I'm saying is like they want to grow the game, they want to get people more excited. Well, stop putting it on courses that literally, unless you make $5 million, you're never going to step onto, like Riviera. Why are you doing, like, what is so great about Riviera? Is it the Playboy Mansion that's in the corner? No, like that course is dog shit in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, what's so
Hmm.
great about it? Why did you do the US Open at LA Country Club and then you still allowed people to basically buy up all the general
Hmm.
admission? So in that
Ruined
way,
it for
people
everybody.
like you and I couldn't come in. Like, how do you
Hmm.
have that ability to monopolize like that? And basically,
How is that bettering the game? Yeah.
it's not. It's not. And that's what I'm saying is like,
Hmm.
you go and play these courses, but again, like, here's a really cool one. Imagine if the PGA goes to Baja, right, which basically is California. Okay, it's Mexico, but it basically is California.
Hmm.
Imagine if they go there and they play Tiger Woods' Diamante signature course. That is not an easy track. That is a tough
Hmm.
one because it's on the Pacific side. One part of the front nine is like hot, the ball travels, and then you get to the other side where it's onto the ocean, and the air is heavy, so your ball's not going
Hmm.
as far. So now you're literally playing two different nines, and it's like that is
Jeez.
that is hard. I mean, when I played it, I had a caddy, and I was just like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, amigo, you got to club up. Like, we're playing in the colder area now. Like, we're playing off the Pacific side. The ball's not going to go as far."
Jeez.
It was like literally went
Dang.
from desert to ocean.
Yeah. That's
It was
insane,
crazy.
dude.
And here's a theory that I don't think a lot of people are even thinking about, but now that you said that there's others leaving, okay? And we all know Nike has a very, very strong tie to the PGA.
Hmm.
I'm thinking Tiger's saying bye-bye to Nike after the PNC because you just mentioned how much money he has. Imagine if he goes on to imagine if he goes over to Live, gets paid out, but hold on, but becomes like, instead of, he becomes like a player slash tournament director. Dude, you can go to all of his courses. There's a possibility that Liv could even be on Michael Jordan's Club 23.
Oh, that'd
Like,
be so sick.
just
Oh,
like it's endless. Like, you're literally talking about all these people who own golf courses. Imagine if the Wesley or like if the Wesley
yep.
the Wesley, what are they called? The Wesley brothers, or right?
No, the
Yeah,
Brian Bros.
the
Brian
Bryan
Bros.
brothers. Imagine they
Yeah.
finish their golf course, right? Liv's like, hey, you know what? We'll sign you if you can allow us to come play your track, right? We promise you X amount of dollars guaranteed. We'll get you national publicity.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Why
Now,
not?
there's no, I mean, you don't have to go through all the BS of like, oh yeah, well, our club is in this position. We can fit this many cars. We have this
Mm-hmm.
much space within the city that we can utilize for shuttling. And, we have this many hotels around to host this many people. Do we
Mm-hmm.
fit the criteria? You have a
Yeah.
beautiful course, John. Beautiful course. But unfortunately, your parking lot only fits 30 people. We're going to have more than 120 players. So we need to take the whole thing for all the players. And there's not a Westin, there's not like a super, there's not like a super nice like Four Seasons around, so the players are just
Tiger's a big Holiday Inn guy. Big
no, it's
Holiday Inn guy. Yeah.
not in a Motel 6. I just don't know if players are going to be happy with it. So we're going to have to pass you. Maybe next year, tell the city that we have, there's possibility that they should invest this much money into the area so we can come and help out
But
your
we just got a Taco Bell. Come on.
dude.
Yeah.
Like this is like these are like real conversations. Like
That's insane.
I forgot where I saw it, but someone was talking about like the criteria of the area has to be like top notch. And I'm thinking, how did they even pass it in San Francisco? Like TPC Harding is all the way in the Presidio. It's like one way in, one way out. So hard to get there, And then here's my other thing. Why are they playing TPC Harding and not TPC Stonebrae? That's a way nicer course. And it's a lot tougher. We all watch Steph shoot 86 out there. For his exemption. I'm just saying, dude. Like,
Yeah,
in,
you
in
bring up
my
good points,
opinion,
man.
like screw the PGA right now because they just need to figure it out. I think like it's not even about the game anymore. It's just we're gonna do our best to try and take care of our players, and it's like, dude, you guys are pocketing so much cash. You should just put that into your players, right?
I mean, what I like, I don't like bringing politics into things, but it definitely reminds me of being a politician where it's like, hey, vote for me. I'll do this, right? Hey, vote for me. I'll do this. And then like you vote for them, you get them in, and then they don't do anything. And then election year comes, hey, vote for me. And I'll promise I'll do what I said I was going to do last time. And then it's like, oh, just trust me, bro. Just trust me, bro. Just trust me over and over again. And these PGA Tour players are constantly trusting, the PGA Tour to do the right thing and, help them out and give them loyalties or whatever. And for whatever reason, it's just not working out. And they're getting screwed for waiting out on that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. You bring up some good points. One thing I do want to mention and bring up before, we wrap it up later, is the golf ball, the
The roll.
USGA, the rollback. What are your thoughts on the rollback? Besides it being dumb and ridiculous and unnecessary, which obviously everyone agrees on, what do you think about it?
I don't like it. I mean, I think Justin Thomas said it in the best way that the best thing about the game is literally the same equipment that I'm playing, everyone else is playing, right? So
Yeah.
when you talk about the same type of feel, the same type of workability, the same type of sounds, like we're advertising the best stuff out, and why would you want to roll it back on the ball? Balls are already super expensive. Now you're telling me that I'm going to go spend $60 on a dozen Titleist balls, $65 on a dozen Titleist balls, to where now it's like I mean, these companies put in so much
Mm-hmm.
work into the aerodynamics, the compression algorithms, like everything that goes into making a solid ball. And like right now, I'm mad in love with the Titleist left dash. I know I mentioned like the Vice Tour Plus is good, or Pro Plus is great. It is a great ball, but dude, the flight difference that I'm getting from the left dash is just insane. And that's maybe only 36 holes played in the last few weeks. So I just think it's like, in whose right mind said this is gonna be great for the game. Like, no, we want to see the long ball. It's a lot like baseball. Everyone wants to see home runs. No one wants to see singles and doubles unless you're, I don't know, unless you're like Billy Hamilton or something. Like you just are just a road runner on the bases. But
Yeah,
I
the only
want
people who want the balls
to see
who
I want to see a tour player hit the ball 350, 400.
It'll be interesting to see long drive contests for sure with this new golf ball if that's
I
like a
don't know if that's
USGA
going to
thing.
impact. I don't know if that's going to impact the long ball guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I just think obviously it's a ridiculous thing. I guess over the past few years, the PGA or USGA has been trying to get people to move up a tee box and hoping that that'll fix the issue. But now that they're not, it's like, oh, hey, we're going to change the golf ball. So now your 5-iron goes as far as your 6-iron, and your 6-iron goes as far as your 7-iron, and your spin is going to be less. And I know a lot of people I've been seeing online they're worried. They're like, oh man, golf rounds are going to be longer now. And I'm like, hey, hold on. The only positive that I can see out of this whole thing is that it's going to annoy a lot of bad golfers already. And they're going to be a lot
Wait, but how is that
more
going to
tee
impact
times
how does that
available
impact us?
because these people are just giving up on the game. They're going to give up on the game. Tee times are going to become available, and it won't be as difficult for us to find no more tee times. I think that's the only positive thing on the whole rollback thing. I'm looking forward to my drives. Not going as short as yours, anymore. But besides that, you're hitting what 320, 340. Now you're going to be hitting 310, 320 if that's true to what they say, like 5% or 7% or whatever of a rollback. But it's so dumb. So dumb.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's basically like Bidenomics of golf, dude. Biden economics of golf is just fucking stupid.
yeah, right. It makes the economy better.
There's more jobs, more balls are gonna stay in play. They're not gonna go as far.
Oh man, I mean, it just makes no sense.
It doesn't.
So
It doesn't. I mean, I think if anything, what I would suggest anybody to go do right now is just get to your local shop and go get yourself some balls. I mean, Christmas right now is
if you
where
got $1,000 sitting that you can just spend right now, spend
right now's the
$1,000.
best time. Right now is the best time because if like they're doing the bundle deals with Titleist balls. So if you
That's
go
what I'm
there,
saying. If you got
yeah,
$1,000, put $1,000 towards it, and you can hold on to them for about a year or two. And those puppies, you'll be sending them by the ball, not by the sleeve, by the
yeah,
ball on
yeah,
eBay. $15
yeah,
a ball.
yeah. That's gonna
Give
be
me a sleeve for a box. Just
yeah,
insane, dude.
yeah. I don't know, man. I just
Imagine you show up to like a random single, and he's just like, "Hey, I only see you're hitting your shot about like 240. I got a Pro V1X in the trunk if you want them.
yeah.
$150."
Sounds like crap. I need another one.
Yeah. Got any more of those Pro V1Xs, man?
Hey, I guarantee you're gonna see some real good entertainment out of it. Some guys like, I got a legendary Pro V1X left dash. Guy shanks it off.
Get him.
No,
Get him.
the guy hits a cut into the water, just starts running like Matt Schaefer when he makes a hole in one. Dives into the There's a gator. I need my ball.
Push through. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You might die. The thing was $20. I gotta get it. My wife's gonna kill me.
Dude,
Die.
oh my god, have you seen those guys on TikTok called the Bogey Wogie Boys?
Maybe not.
It's the dude's like famous for always doing his flop shots. He's like, it's a floppy woppy time. He's like,
Nope.
oh no, the cart's in the way. I guess I gotta hit another flop shot. But dude, he was playing. He was out on a round. He goes, dude, we're on a par 3, and he's basically making fun of good, right? Because whenever they're on the par 3, there's always an opportunity for a hole in one somehow with right. Grant's just like, I feel one coming on. All of a sudden, Steven walks up and he hits one, or Schaefer walks up and he hits one. Right? It's like, what's going on? So he goes, you know what time it is? He's like, Ace Cam's live. So he's like quoting that guy Ed from Random Golf Club, and then he goes, you know what this means? If I hit it, like, I got to do my signature thing. And he hits this shot, and he's like, oh, it's right at the pin. It's right at the pin. And like he starts like running like Schaefer, like, and like the guy who's filming was like, it hasn't even landed yet. He goes, I know it's in. He gets up there. He's like, "Oh, it was at the pin, but it's like 40 yards short in the."
I was gonna say, is it really short? Yeah.
It's just funny. And then he's like on a par five, and then or no, he's on a par four, and he hits a driver shot, and he like holds it off, and like you see the ball go to the left, but like they drew the perfect line, so he's like holding it like Schaefer, and he's like, and then he just drops the club and just starts running like it's full sprint, and then he just goes, or then the guy goes, dude, it's 480 yards. He's like, there's always a chance. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
I need to check that out, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny, man. They come up with some good stuff, but the dude with the glasses, the guy who like primarily is the player in the group, that dude is good. Dude, I swear, I think those dudes I think they're from the Central Valley, because I don't know what course they're playing, but it reminds me a lot of Riverside.
Really?
Swear, take a look. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Yeah,
But shout out to the
I'll
Boogie
definitely
Woogie
have
guys.
to.
I love the content. You guys are doing awesome. So yeah,
So one last thing before we wrap up here. You might not have seen this, but the 2024 RBC Canadian Open logo. Did you see this?
no,
The 2024 Canadian Open logo will feature a silhouette of Nick Taylor's putter toss. He during the last Canadian Open, that was literally the weekend that LIV in PGA Tour like merged. That's like the Wednesday before that tournament happened. Nick Taylor won, I think, on an eagle putt from like 65 feet as like a walk-off win on the 18th hole on like the 72nd hole of the weekend. And like he tosses his putter up, and there's on TSN underscore official, they have the logo where it's kind of like the PGA Tour logo, and like our Four Dads logo, like you have on your hat, but it's just him like tossing the club up, which I thought was a pretty cool little thing for the Canadian, because he is Canadian as well.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I feel like we had like a lot of stuff to talk about this week, which was nice.
yeah. It's funny, like people. So so on Sunday I had my men's club. We had a Stableford, and I played well. My partner unfortunately just had a rough time, but I was wearing the Four Dads hat, and so on the back
Mhm.
it has this logo, right?
Mhm.
I didn't get any film because it was raining, which sucked,
Mm.
but I had to stick it out for
Dude,
my partner.
if you got a GoPro, bro, it does wet don't matter.
Dude, it was dumping. Like there was standing
Oh,
water.
okay.
It was I just didn't even want
Why'd
to.
you even go? I'd be like, screw it.
My partner, dude, my partner's 68 years old, and he was sticking it out, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta stick
I
it out.
hate my life too.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, but so I was playing with the vice ball just because it was easier to see, obviously with the logo. And he goes, that's pretty cool. You got yourself on the back of your hat, and I was like, huh? He goes, yeah, that's you, right? And I was like, that's John Daly, dude. And he goes, what? He goes, dude, seeing your swing, he's like, it looks like you. And I was like,
Is that a compliment? Is that
yeah,
a
all right, well, thanks, man. He goes, I've never seen anybody hit the ball as far as you do. And he was like that. He's like, seeing you with your driver getting all the way back here. He's like, it looks just like you. And then everyone else in the group was like, it does kind of look like you. And then all of a sudden we get to I hit my ball, and it's like just off on the right hand side on the right, or on the right edge of the rough. And
Mhm.
there's a guy who comes over from the eighth hole. We're on the par four. Or I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
par five on number four. And then he goes, PGA logo here. And I was like, yeah, that's me, that's me. And he goes, why'd you put the PGA logo on there? And I was like, it's not the PGA logo. I said, we took the same idea, but I said, it says Four Dads. And he was like, oh, he's like, that's cool, dude. And he's like, and you got yourself on there? And I'm like, and then the guy, Chris, looks at me and he goes, I told you, man, it looks just like you. It looks just like you. I was like, I appreciate it. Like, I'll take it.
Was it the beard? Was it the beard that gave it away
I
on the
think it was
hat,
weird.
or
I think it's just,
silhouette?
where I just get back, and then just a bigger body. I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
That's dope. Okay, run with it, man. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely think it's a good spot to wrap up. Again, we had a lot to talk about, which was awesome. The rollback, Tiger, Colin Morikawa, LIV, Jon
Yeah.
Rahm. We talked about a lot of stuff. Hopefully, if you guys made it this far, next week we will be meeting with a special guest. I'm still waiting for a response to clarify and double check on our timing for next week. So be on alert for that, because it's not just any special guest. A VIP, in my opinion. It'd be really cool if we can get this guy on. But we're over 300 subs on YouTube. If you want to check out some of our content on there, Julio's coming out in a few weeks. We're going to shoot some more. We're going to shoot an 18-hole match play video. It could end in 12 holes. It could end in 17 holes. We will find out. But we will get some good content for everybody. It'll be our little, Christmas kind of video. It'll probably be like a 40 or 50-minute video, dude. It'll actually be honestly kind of insane. But it'll be a lot of fun. Should be some good weather as well. But again, thank you guys for all your support. Check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias. We're trying our best to stay on top of everything, but it is tough with life. Julio's going to Cabo tomorrow, so just pray for him, keep him in your prayers. Just because it's such a
traveling with the baby.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah, that scares me. Just thinking about going on a plane. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode of Fore Dads Podcast. Don't forget to stay fly and go low, and we will see you sometime next week.